Long before Zeb quit his job to come work for Jami Ray Vintage, it was just me. And so when Zeb was working all the time, I had to do projects. So I do know how to use the chop saw. I have used a nail gun. I'm just not super good at it. But this morning, I am filming myself. So if the camera angle is wonky or it's too bright, that's why. And I'm going to be shiplapping this fireplace because Zeb is editing a video. It's crunch time. We got to get things done. First things first, I'm going to figure out how big my boards need to be. So I'm just going to set this on here. Mark this on the other side. Now that I got my mark, I'm just going to use one board as the guide board and then cut from there instead of measuring every time. This is the one that locks it that way. Where's the good? I gotta call Zeb. Okay, I've got all my boards cut. Just gonna make sure they get on here nice and straight. I use the first board as my guide board, so that way I could cut the rest of them. And you only wanna have one guide board because if you keep using subsequent cuts, you can get off a little bit. And I reserved that one for last in case I need to cut more. A little Jami Ray tip. Just got my Milwaukee nail gun. I think it has like 18 gauge nails. Zeb could probably post that, what's in here, but they're just brad nails. I'm just shooting them in. Hopefully I've got enough power. This plaster is super hard. I pushed the button that makes extra power, so we'll see. I feel like it's not got enough power. Maybe I should call Zeb and ask him. Hold on. Hey, so what do I press on this to make it more power? If it's blinking, does that mean it has the most power?
If it's blinking in red, that means it's all out of power.
No, it's the green light on the actual gun, not the battery. The battery has just a little bit of life left.
The green light on the gun?
Yeah, you know how, because I'm using the nail gun, you know how it has...
Yeah, you hit it, and then it's got... You get it turned on and it'll be solid, and then you press it again. You don't have to hold it, you just press it once, and then it'll blink at you, and that's all you choose.
Okay, so my battery only has one little thing left, so does that not have enough power?
It lasts a long time on that. I thought you were talking about the camera.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure because some of my nails aren't going in all the way, but I'll just hammer them down.
Make sure it's tilted a little forward, and it'll drive them all the way in.
A little forward, like at an angle?
Yeah, because if the gun is completely flush, it doesn't rest up against whatever you're nailing. It's
okay.
designed to make you drive it in at an angle because that's actually stronger.
Okay, I'll do that. That's probably what my problem was because it was blinking, so I've got the extra power on, so I just want to make sure. Okay, sounds good.
You might want to just snag a battery pack out of the drill or something because once the battery does get to a low point, it might not drive them all the way in.
Okay, I'll go grab another battery. Is there a charger here that I can put this one on?
No, just set it to the side so we know which one it is and remember.
All right, love you, sweetie.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so I guess I just need to put it at an angle so that way it goes in further. That's what Zeb says. And I'm gonna go grab a new battery. Okay, so at the house we're using real wood shiplap, and you have to do like a little bit of a spacer because otherwise there's no gap. This MDF shiplap has an automatic gap right here, so you don't have to use any spacers with it. And it's not real wood, which means it's not gonna bow, you're not gonna have knots, it's already primed. So if you want a shiplap that's a little bit easier to install, go with this. If you want something that looks more authentic, you're gonna wanna use the real wood shiplap. All right, I'm gonna try to shoot these nails at an angle, see if I get a better result. Make sure that's flush with the wall. Looks good. Nope, that didn't work. Maybe bottom angle. Nope, that didn't work either. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna have to use a hammer. Can you see my nail work there? I'm not super good at this, but I'm gonna get this up, I'll hammer those down, putty it and paint it, and no one will ever know. We have this gap up at the top. It's a little bit wider than the trim I have, but I'm making an executive decision so Zeb doesn't have to worry about it. I'm gonna trim it off. There's gonna be a gap like this at the top, and I'm gonna leave it for a couple of reasons. One, because it's all gonna be painted white and I think it's gonna look fine. And two, because that line over there isn't even straight on the fireplace. I have a feeling that this ceiling isn't straight, and so trying to get that cut perfectly is gonna be a nightmare. So I'm just gonna trim it up, call it good. Okay, shiplap wall is up, not perfect. I'm gonna take a hammer, nail in all of these, get it all painted, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's all staged and done. I'm overlapping my stencil just a little bit so it's a little more organic looking. I've taken off my electrical plate and I'm just gonna stencil up to the electrical plate, then I'll put the electrical plate back on, and then it'll be a continuous design. And I have gone with painter's tape because that's gonna make my job easier. All right, I'm gonna like crouch down because I'm tired of moving the camera. Okay, so I'm gonna be working on these mirror corbels here, base coating them in DIY Dark and Decrepit. You can pick it up on our website at jamirayvintage.com. These are gonna go in the jewelry display, and so I don't need to worry about the tops or the bottoms because those will be against the wall. The Dark and Decrepit is dry, so I'm using DIY paint in Apothecary, and I'm just gonna paint right over that. Then I'll wet distress it to show that dark right through it. One coat will be good enough. This MDF is pretty dry, so it just soaks that paint right up and gets great coverage. See how this is all distressed and the Dark and Decrepit's coming through? All you have to do to get it to look like this is a damp rag. Because these are MDF, you don't really want to use sandpaper on them to distress them because you could go all the way through to that raw MDF and it's not pretty. So wet distress is the perfect option, and it's only gonna take you down as far as that Dark and Decrepit. You're gonna wanna let the Dark and Decrepit dry for 2 to 4 hours before you paint it and wet distress it. But then once you do, because it has a built-in sealer, it only distresses down to the dark color like that. To seal these up, I'm just gonna use my wax brush and DIY clear wax. They're not gonna get a lot of heavy use, so this will just keep it so that way we can wash them. And it also brings out the color. You can see the difference between waxed and not waxed. New product, Debbie's Design Diary, Old and Gray, Barnwood Patina. We're making a shelf for my jewelry display in the shop. I'm applying this with the Paint Pixie Joy number 7. It's all natural and has a built-in sealer. If this was gonna be heavy use, I'd go ahead and put a couple more coats on here. I think I'll probably just do some clear wax and we should be good to go.
So just like the Dark and Decrepit, if you want it to be a little lighter, you can wipe it back before it sets up and get a lighter finish, or you can put multiple coats on and get a darker finish. When you buy corbels from JamiRayVintage.com, we don't send them out with hanging hardware. The reason being is a lot of people just use these as decor, sitting somewhere in their house as an accent piece. But if you're gonna use it as a shelf, you can easily drill pilot holes using a 3/8 countersink bit and then plug those holes, and they look like they've never had a hole there. And then on the back side here, I'm gonna go in about 1/2 inch and then drill a 45 angle, and that'll go into the wall, and the shelf sits right on the top here, be really strong. I've already got my wall marked, so I know the height I need to go, and I know where I want the corbels to be screwed in at. Alright, it fits. You want to hold that tight so it doesn't fall off while I'm screwing these down. Just using a number 6 2-inch screw straight down into the corbel. Let's fill these holes with some 3/8 plugs, and then Jamie, if you want to grab that old and gray and come back over the top.
I'll just use the rag. The mirror is here, although now that it's up here, I feel like I might need to paint this white. Too many variations in wood tone for me.
So we're gonna hang jewelry off of this and various things. We've just got these little cup pulls. How much were these, Jamie? Where did you get them?
Oh, they were just under $4 on Amazon.
So these are from Amazon. They were right around $4, and there's 36 of them in here. We got 2 packs, should be plenty for this display here.
I may have overbought. So I'm using tarnished pearl on this. We had too many colors going on of wood, so I just wanted to neutralize this, even though I thought the wood was pretty. This will help tie it all in together. I like tarnished pearl. It's a new DIY color. It's a cream, but it's a brown cream and not a yellow cream. So it's totally different from crinoline. Okay, so now we're gonna be adding the jewelry onto our jewelry bar. Some of these are extra long, so they're gonna be going into the middle. Then we know where we can hang extra cup hooks on this display. And it may change from time to time, and one may go over the other cup hook, and that's okay too. The jewelry display is done. It was way more involved than I thought, but it's definitely something that's fun and we've never done before.
We decided that this took up entirely too much room on this little countertop, bar top thing we got going on over here. So we now have a mirror back over on this side that's gonna work much better.
And we have a full DIY on this mirror. It's super chippy and awesome, so we'll drop that link below. And now we've got something else to sell in our shop, and I know people are gonna want it because it's awesome.
It is awesome.
This is the first time using tarnished pearl on a bigger piece, and I love it. It's the perfect cream that pulls more brown than yellow. If you're interested in the paint and products we used on today's video, go to JamiRayVintage.com, check the description box, and Zeb will have each of them listed below.
Jamie was teasing me a little bit because I was playing with the jewelry, but all I'm seeing back here is dollar signs.
I wanted to organize it and he wouldn't let me anywhere near it, so totally organized by Zeb. Comment below, are you into jewelry? Let us know. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Hit the subscribe button.